Hi there everybody, and welcome to our tutorial on how to play Remains. My name is Tom Brown. I'm currently the project lead of the game, and I'm just here to show you how to play. So let's get started with our main menu here. Currently we have our different options on create, join, instructions, options, credits, exit. All of them do what they say. The first one I want to just jump into is options. If you go down to options here, you can see you can change your volume settings, music settings, also screen resolution. Really good if you start the game and the game doesn't look right. The other option is the instructions panel. You just kind of go into this tent and you can see how to play the game amongst looking over like what icons do and even character bios and stats if you guys are ever interested in looking that up or curious how much damage your specific players want to do and what you want to upgrade to. With that, let's see if we can get started on a game. So when I hit the create option, it's going to give me a multitude of different boxes to fill out. The first one's going to be the IP address, which is just going to be the person. That is going to be your IP address. It's going to be locally, so if you are on a router, you might have to go to Google and check out what's my IP to get your actual one. The next one is the port. We play our game on 25005, so make sure that your port forwarding is set up properly when you are hosting a game. The next one is the number of starting units and starting resources, just customizable options. So if you want to play a really quick game or a really slow game, we're just going to keep these at default with starting number of units at 3 and starting resources are as some. So let's hit the create button. Now on your on your client side, or the person you're trying to connect to, you're going to have to give them your IP address. So I'm just going to hit join on my other computer here, and now we are finally in game. So just to start off on a few things here, the icons in the top left corner here, these are your class upgradable items or your tribe items. Basically, you have your scavenger down here. He is your base starting unit, and you can upgrade him to different units like our punk, marauder, bouncer, hotshot, tinkerer, or marauder. And you need these class items and a bit of scrap and a bit of food to get that happening. If we go over to the right side here, it's just what I mentioned, our scrap count, our food count, and our population counter. You can only have 10 people in your tribe. If you find any more, you can't survive with that many people with the little resources you have. So my opinion is to kill them so the other guy doesn't take them. Down here in the bottom left hand corner we have our mini map just to see what's all on the map. As you can see, the fog of war is blocking majority of it. Once we explore it, it will become open to us. At the bottom here we have our character icons. You can see our scavenger icon right here to show what units you have and what they are. Lastly, on the right here we have our ability icon. So if I just click on one of our scavengers, he is currently lit up and you can see that he is selected as well as his different abilities. We also have our tool tips, so we got move, attack, recruit, upgrade, and scavenge. Alright, with this we're just going to talk about how to move the camera and a few other things. We use the WASD keys to move the camera, so if you just want to look around the map, you can move them during this way. And then use your mouse to click around on specific hex tiles to do certain things. Right click is to deselect as well. So let's see if we can get started. As you can see, there's this guy down in the bottom corner here. He's what we call a survivor. He's not associated with any tribe. He's not associated with you or your opponents, so you can go to recruit him. So I select my player and I can click down here to get close to him. Once I'm close to him and I have about 3 stamina and 2 food, I can click on the recruit button and then he joins my team. Now if I try to click on him, I can move him around. So let's see if we can just get him out of the base, and let's recruit another player as well. Right here, if I try to click on it though, I don't have enough stamina, so I have to wait until my stamina fills up. Alright, with that, let's take this guy and do one of the 3 things that you can do in the game. You can scavenge, you can upgrade your units, or you can attack your opponent or capture his base to win the game. So those are the 3 main objectives. So the first thing is I want to upgrade my characters. Scavengers are a little weak, so you want to get yourself a bouncer. So let's go into this building and try to scavenge to find some resources. This yellow UI ring shows that a building hasn't been scavenged. Unfortunately, you can't see it until you enter the room, so it has a little bit of exploration to it as well. When we have maximum stamina here, which will just be a moment, we can actually scavenge the building to see what resources we have. There are 2 main types of buildings. There are small buildings, which will give you a little reward, or big buildings like our Kmart and our scrap yard, and they will give you a bigger bonus as well as constant bonuses as long as you're inside that building. As you saw, I just gained a little bit of scrap there, and no class items as well. So let's see if we can try to keep hunting for more scrap and more class items. The best way to actually move around is to constantly recruit more people and travel with them. So that's what we're doing here. We're actually going to be moving to our two big buildings. It's actually the Q-Mart and the Scrapyard that's up here. So because of our stamina system, it actually takes a little while to move guys across the map. It's just to make a mix of both turn-based and real-time, so you don't have somebody just spamming buttons and waiting for stamina. You actually have to strategically plan out your matches, kind of like a turn-based game, like chess, except you don't have to wait for the other player because, well, that would kind of get boring. Alright, so these guys are almost there. As you can see, this is Dean's Junk. This is our scrapyard. The sign kind of flashes a little bit, which is a nice little effect as well. And we have the Q-Mart here, which the sign also flashes. So once I get inside, perfect. Now I'm inside. Now I just gotta wait for my stamina to fill up before I can actually scavenge these two buildings. Alright. So with that, let's check out our home base. We have a lot of scavengers here. Let's see if we can try to move one closer to the opponent's base. But that'll take up some stamina as well. Oh, this guy is almost done. You can actually check on their stamina bars at the bottom here and see when they are actually filled, and then hit the scavenge button. Our other guy is getting kind of close there as well, and now we can scavenge. Also, another hotkey if you want to know is 120 can actually cycle through your characters, so you can see that where if you really want to be quick and you know who is who, you can just click on them there. Once we actually upgrade one of these guys, his portrait is going to be changed, so you can actually short key a little bit faster. So just almost there. We're going to scavenge this building. And we got some food and we got some scrap. And now there's a constant bonus as long as we got our scavenger in here. And now our other scavenger has finished, and he's given us a toolbox. This is actually really useful for our Tinkerer class, which is kind of like an engineer. He actually can build equipment and set up traps. So if we hit this upgrade icon, we can click on Tinkerer. He goes into the tent and starts upgrading. That takes time as well. So we're just going to keep moving our characters over and along, see if we can get to that opponent's base and eventually win the match. So he is about halfway done upgrading. Let's see if we can move our guys and get some more exploration going here. Just kind of looking on the map. Normally you'd be multitasking, and the more units you get, the harder it is to multitask. But the less units, it's really easy. Alright, so we got our Tinkerer class here. He has the ability to craft items and to set up light traps. Light traps are just any light pole you can see here. You can walk over it and set up a trap. That will actually be one of the things that we do right now. So let's move this guy up, and we're going to set up a light trap right at that street light there. While that's going though, I'm going to see if I can get these guys over here and eventually capture the enemy base. Also, the game is very fast-paced later on in the match, just because of the amount of units you'll have. The lower number of units, the slower the game goes, so it's a really nice build-up when you start going to attack your opponent here. As you can see, I can see the opponent's camp. The map is actually fairly small, and I don't see any of his units yet, so we're just going to wait on that one. I'm actually going to bring in I'm going to recruit this guy and bring in 3 scavengers just so I can see if I can beat him there. Alright, our Tinker is almost at that light. Perfect. Now to actually updo the light, as you can see, it will take up all his stamina. So we just got to wait until he finishes up there. And on that note, I am actually going to move the opponent's pieces just really quickly. Alright, so he's tinkering with the light here, just setting up the trap. And now he is finished. What the trap does, it will actually, when an opponent gets close, the light will light up and show any enemies that are within that area. So if the enemy tries to attack your base, this is great for just letting you know, hey, they are coming. Alright, so let's see how our guy's doing up north. And as you can see now that I've moved the enemy pieces away from the base. So let's show off combat a little bit. Once I get close to a unit, because this guy is a melee unit, and I hover over him, it shows me my attack grid and my % chance of hitting him. So it seems like I have a 90% chance of hitting him. Let's hit him. Oh, I missed. That was unlucky, actually. That usually at 90% it's pretty solid, but looks like I missed that one. It takes about 5 stamina to actually hit with the scavenger, so he's having just a really off day today. So I'm just going to get these guys to surround him, and we're all going to attack him. There is power within numbers. So right now I just got to wait for my stamina to refill once again, and he is just missing up the ball here. How's this guy doing? This guy's about 4 stamina. There's our first hit. Okay, so it seems like our unit has hit him. I'm just going to move these guys around just to make sure. Maybe it's a bad angle. Ah, there we go. Perfect. So this guy's just slowly, we're whittling around down his health, as you can see. And we're just going to hit him continuously until he's dead. There we go. There's a nice death animation, and he's finally dead. Now, the 2 ways of winning, like I mentioned before, is to kill the opponents or just capture their base. So the way to capture their base is just getting your units in there without anybody else in there. This green bar will show if you're capturing, or a red bar will show if you are not capturing. So once the bar is finally complete, we will be victorious, and we will finally win the game. You remain. It's a great game. If you guys want to check it out, you can go to remains.downrush.com to download it. Can't wait to see you guys online. Take care.